In this next installment of our 5-part series, The 10 Buildings That Changed Louisville, we visit two of the city's most iconic landmarks, the Louisville Water Tower and the U.S. Marine Hospital. Designed by architect Theodore Skowden and his assistant Charles Hermany, the Louisville Water Tower operated from 1860 until 1912. The Marine Hospital functioned from 1852 to 1933 and was designed by American architect Robert Mills. Both structures helped develop Louisville's reputation as a world-class city.
The water tower, what an elegant solution to a practical need. It's yet another one of those great Greek Revival buildings in America, in Louisville. It was really the high point, economic high point of the 19th century.
It was built in 1860, so when you think about that, it was way outside of the city limits. Most Louisvillians got their water out of the ground back in those days. It was free. And so the Louisville Water Company wanted to build this world-class structure to say, hey, we have great water here.
It's a machine. It was designed as a pumping machine to get water from the river to the reservoir where Veterans Hospital is now. It could have been done for a whole lot less money. But in fact, they decided to go the extra mile and to get something that not only works, but is handsome.
One of the reasons why it is so beautiful and so elegant is that when boats were coming down the river to land at Louisville, right before the Civil War, and there were 3,000 boats a year landing in Louisville at that time, it was like it was an announcement of what was to come. When you were coming down from upriver and you saw this sitting there just out, what kind of city is this?
It was their first impression of the city and said, hey, this is a great place in which to live. We have quality technology and water here, so why not live in Louisville?
And the fact that it was destroyed in the tornado in 1890 and then rebuilt.
And when they restore it, they put all of those Greco-Roman figures around the base, except for the Native American and his dog. And that adds to the visual relationship.
The engineering stands on its own. What is on the inside is even more important because it's worked so wonderfully well for, these many decades. But it was, again, one of those things where they did the extra step and built more than they needed, but built it elegantly.
It's really more than we deserve because it's just a machine, but it is a strikingly handsome machine.
The U.S. Marine Hospital is so fundamental to the history of American healthcare. All federal health programs we have today started with the Marine Health Service. It was one of 7 identical buildings designed by Robert Mills in the 1840s. Robert Mills was the first American architect, an American who was trained in America by Thomas Jefferson and Hoban, and went on to be the first federal architect, and really gave America its Greek temple look for important buildings. And the Marine hospitals were actually the first buildings in America designed to be hospitals. Previously, hospitals were big buildings that be converted into the use for hospitals. But this building was very intelligently designed. It was designed for what they understood healthcare in the 1850s to be. It functioned as a hospital from 1852 to 1933. That's a very, very long time. was the first veterans hospital in the community, and it still serves through the Family Health Center Portland. They use the facility; it's part of the grounds, and every bit as important as it always has been. So this is the last remaining Robert Mills of the 7 buildings he built on the Western Waters. This is the last one. It's a National Historic Landmark. It was a Save America's Treasures project, and it was one of the 11 most endangered places in America. And fortunately, this community responded, and we were able to restore the exterior back to its glory. It stands as a real testament to American healthcare. It's a real inspiration, and it's great that it sits there right at the interstate, and people can see it and look at it and wonder about it.